hey man, do you want to direct Hatchet 3? I said, hell yeah, I want to direct Hatchet 3. You know I do. I remember my friend Sarah was like, I'm doing this movie called Hatchet and I want you to come work on it. She called me in to come interview, and what I didn't know is that Adam was right behind me, and I guess they had interviewed a bunch of different Steadicam operators, and because they were looking for somebody that actually had interest in horror films and loved horror movies, and Adam was behind me going, hire him, hire him. You know, got in production with Hatchet 1 and all became really good friends.
I was there and BJ was like, I passed BJ and he's like, hey man, I might be doing something, like my first directorial debut, I would love to have you. And I'm like, you can stop right there. I'm like, I think you're beyond talented. And I go, if my skills can any way, you know, help out with whatever it is you're doing, I'm on board. I don't care, you don't even talk about the details. I go, I'll tell my agents, man, I mean, because of your family.
Adam called me and was like, well, let's get together and figure out what we want to do with Hatchet 3. Something that I already had done 2 of. And I knew the monsters character, I knew the backstory, I knew, you know, the Mary Beth character. Okay guys, we're going right back into the story where we left off. He knew that I wanted to put more action into it, and I'm more into that kind of stuff, and just, you know, I wanted to make Crowley a little bit faster and just gnarlier. Actually see kind of a thought process to Crowley too. Like you can actually in this one kind of see him think about what he's doing. Whereas the other ones, he kind of comes out almost like a berserker and just starts just tearing people apart, which is cool too, and I love it.
Haas is an interesting character. Haas is a leader of, he's a SWAT team commander who leads a group of SWAT guys into the swamps of Louisiana to investigate the Victor Crowley, or the alleged Victor Crowley murders. He's kind of a pompous douchebaggy type dude. He's very no-nonsense, kind of that jock in school who's like, I'm amazing, I know what I'm doing, I'm really good at it, get out of my way. Which he is really good at what he does, but his social graces are a little rough around the edges.
Part 1, we shot in the desert, and it was pretty gnarly out there. In part 2, we could never do these big wide shots because we were so confined to a soundstage that we couldn't like do these big open like shots. It was always very tight. Everything was so tight, you know? We were shooting in the same exact spot through the whole movie, just moving a couple bushes around. I felt as though if we went to a real swamp, we could actually really show a swamp. I've shot in New Orleans a bunch on different movies, and I know a lot of the crew down there. Better to not have to be limited to a confined area. We had constant rain, and when the rain hit, the whole set would turn into like, you know, foot-deep mud. We had alligators walking up the Crafty, snakes. Kane got deep poisoning, went to the hospital. It felt like it was the movie that didn't want to get made. Derek's a friend of me and Adam's both, so that was a given. Plus we also wanted to have Jason versus Jason in this one that I think everyone's looking forward to.
It's kind of cool because everything is kind of pointed in the same direction and lined up for this, because fans have always been asking like for Kane and I to fight each other, and I've gotten a lot of offers for like other films going like, well, the film is you and Kane fight. And so Kane and I are friends, so it's like, you know, friend from Kane, friend from BJ, friend from Adam, and all kind of came together. It felt like the right time to pull the trigger on that.
It's still the same feel as the other Hatchet films. We didn't want to lose that. There are definitely some elaborate kills in there that are just like, they're pretty brutal. They're 80s throwbacks. The kills are definitely like, you know, we want to make them so out of control and ridiculous, and it's just, you know, to have fun.
I'm really excited about the kills, because like that's the bread and butter for the Hatchet movies. I think actually Adam will think like weird twisted ways to kill people and then write movies around that.
They're going to put it in, I believe, 10 cities in theaters, but it's going to be like a limited release kind of midnight showing for the fans, and then video on demand, and then Blu-ray. But I think we're just going to try to skip the whole MPAA. We're just going to keep it unrated. I think that everyone's going to dig it, and I think we kicked ass at it.